Hi, welcome to this More4apps presentation. Today we're going to go through the custom query functionality which is available on all our wizards and loaders. So what is the custom query functionality? It's enabling your end users to select and run predefined queries specific to the needs for your organization. The custom query functionality fits into all our current products for EBS. You'll see it's to the right of the standard wizard or loader columns called custom query. So how does it work? Your user selects a query that they wish to use. They add any filters. That's either via the form or just putting the data into the worksheet with the associated column. And then they just execute. Once the query is completed, it will then output the data into the wizard or loader. So let's look at the business case. An organization has a price list associated with an approved supplier list. This isn't a natural fit for Oracle, so in order for this to work for the organization, they have to tie the two together, and they do this. So the supplier maps to the price list name, the item to the item, and the price to the price and the pricing date. So let's look at the wizard. By default, they're using a DFF for the price value and the price list start date, and that information they have worked out a way to transfer to price list data. As you can see, you have your price value and your start date, where the organization has to have the price list associated with the ASL. First thing we do is we copy the item number in this case because we want to find this item number and find the ASL for that and the associated price list. So we choose download sheet, then we select our query, which is DWASL with price list, and execute the download. And you can see it's returned that one record. We could change that query a little bit. We can use wildcards, so we'll choose any item beginning with DW, and we'll also choose approved supplier lists with Advantage Corp. Again, we choose our query set, and we choose download. This time it returns 29 records. Optionally, you can use the download form. Here the users can pull down a list of values, which are all the different columns that are in the SQL statements. In this case, we're going to choose a supplier like AD%, and we'll add a similar query as to before with the item, and we'll do DW03%. Once this is added, we just simply press the download button. The data is downloaded and automatically put into the spreadsheet. How do we create these custom queries? First we need the SQL statement, and in these SQL statements the alias has to line up the column. Here we have owning org with an underscore and item and commodity and description. Where you do have an underscore, it's equivalent to a space in the label in the wizard or loader. So supplier and supplier site are two other fields as well. As you notice on the spreadsheet, the aliases line up with these columns. If we look at the child query, we'll notice that the alias names aren't correct, so we have to change those to be the same as on the spreadsheet. Again, the underscore replacing the space. Case sensitivity isn't an issue either. And we use the Manage Queries functionality. So in this case, we're going to create a new query. We give it a query set name. Then we add our first query, which of course will be the ASL query that we've just copied. We give the query a name, and then we paste the SQL in. We then parse the SQL to make sure it's valid. And we can set our key columns, and these columns are used for joins for the lower down tables. We then add another query, and this will be for the price list part. We then set what the parent query is, and then we look at building the joins. So the item and the supplier to the price list name. And that's it, the queries have been formed. Next step is to assign the responsibilities. Here we're going to give it to the purchasing super user. Of course you can have multiple, and in this example here we'll give it to the manufacturing managers. And we simply press apply to assign those responsibilities. I'll press apply again just to be doubly sure. And that's our query. Now let's look at downloading our queries and uploading them to another instance. We press the Manage Queries button here, and we choose Export Queries. And we go down and choose our query. I just want this one, and maybe I want this one here. So you can export these queries here like that. And we go Export Queries. Let's put them in the Documents folder. And what we can do now is we can go back to the Sorter Wizard, we'll log out, and we'll choose another instance. And we'll import those queries. Go back to the Custom Query tab, and we press Load from File. I'll go to my Documents directory. This will give me my XML files. So those are the two that we want. And it's as simple as that. Those queries have now been imported. It will also take in the responsibilities, etc. that you had before. You can obviously change these with the responsibilities functionality. If you didn't have any responsibilities, now's the time where you'd go and add them.